everyone, I'm Charlie Quijano Anduyan, your teacher vlogger for today. As it mentioned earlier, that this vlog will be the focus on defining, illustrating, demonstrating, and explaining the characteristics of a good performance assessment. But before we'll go on to my formal vlog, I just want to say, I hope all of you are doing great in these exhausting and challenging moments of our lives. May we keep courageous in facing all the battles in our lives. Without further ado, are you excited? Let's go! What are the characteristics of a good performance assessment? Let's define first what is performance assessment is. Accordingly, performance assessment is a measure of how well students were able to apply their knowledge, skills, and abilities to an authentic problem. Hence, it became a good performance when students were able to utilize their intellect in grasping the information, aptitudes, and attitude in performing a certain task or an activity which result in flying colors. Here are the 5 characteristics of a good performance assessment, starting with the first one. Characteristics of a good performance assessment, it is authentic. Should be authentic, which means it includes performance tasks or a series of consequential activities and realistic as well. Performance assessment should exemplify or employ tasks that are realistic and has relevance to everyday life. From the word authentic signifies factual knowledge, valid claims, accuracy, and precision. The more the activities are authentic, the easier way to transfer knowledge. Thus, when we can say or when do the activities become realistic and meaningful to students. For an instance, a science teacher instructed his students to conduct an experiment about the process of photosynthesis and how do it function. During the experiment, the teacher is checking the students, and after the performance, he will assess whether the activity do have relevance to their lives. As expected, students will engage to the experiment to answer the hypothesis and make conclusions. From the example given, we can assess that the performance nor the activity itself is authentic and has relevance to the life of the students. Because humans need foods to live, that's why people will work to buy manufactured food. The same with the plants. Photosynthesis is the process to gather food. Another example, the mass communication students will be conducting an interview and a field report about the recent situation in a certain barangay. After the performance, their mass communication teacher will assess their work. In that scenario, it has relevance to their lives because they are a part of society where interaction is important. Thus, students would be able to execute well the activities or performance because it has connection to their lives. The second one is, it provides opportunities for students to show both what they know and how well they can do what they know. Performance assessment should achieve a balanced approach, wherein it gives students opportunities to showcase their knowledge and skill competencies. Hence, providing students opportunities to involve themselves in a certain activity with the assistance of their knowledge and present skills, which an edge or big help to accomplish activities with flying colors. Let's take a look at this example. Let's imagine I'm doing classroom teaching. After I discussed the lesson in front of my students, they understood well the topic. They were able to grasp the information and internalize what they have learned. The activity that I'll be giving to them is poster making. Poster making needs critical thinking and deep brainstorming to produce an aesthetic poster making or an artwork. I have here a props, which these are the usual stuffs or coloring materials to be used in doing a poster making. After I gave the instructions, then they will execute the activity.
5 minutes later.
Now this is their outputs. After I assess their outputs, I can say whether they understand well the lesson or not. However, some outputs will be out of the topic or nor the theme. That means they need more guidance and learning as well. Therefore, providing students activities that is measurable by their cognitive and attainable by their skills or capabilities, and that gives them an opportunity to produce a tremendous performance or an activity. The third characteristics of a good performance assessment is it allows students to involve in the process of evaluating their own and their peers' performance outputs. Nonetheless, in these characteristics, students' ability to do assessing self-output or peers' output will function, and this determine whether they know how to assess themselves and their peers to circumvent confusion with regards to giving points to a certain performance or an activity. For clear understanding, let's take a look at this example. Alright, since you understand well the lesson, for tomorrow's performance, I will group you into 5 groups. We'll be having a role play, and each group will be given a respective topic to do the role play. Here are the criteria to be used in assessing your tomorrow's performance. The rubrics are now the basis to facilitate self-assessment and peer assessment. Moreover, after assessing their self and their peers, they would improve themselves to gain high scores for the next activities. The fourth characteristic of a good performance assessment is it assesses more complex skills. Performance assessment allows students to engage themselves in more challenging exercises that require various skills such as planning and decision making, problem solving, critical thinking, communication or interaction, and creative skills, among others. Hence, this characteristic needs high-order cognitive skills to produce a positive output or result. For an instance, in baking, students are given an activity to make cookie and they need to sell it, must attain the limited income as instructed by their teacher. Also, they need to submit the expenses and etc. as their criteria to pass the midterm exam. In that example, students required to give all their best and use their negotiating strategies to have high earnings. Therefore, they put all their efforts, and that performance or an activity assess complex skills. The last characteristic of a good performance is explain the task, required elements, and scoring criteria to the students before the start of the activity and the assessment. Fundamentally, the students must know the provided task, the scoring criterion, rubrics as the basis of their outputs, and the other requirements before the beginning of the class. In this way, students will be able to gain high scores for their assessment because they understand well and they have a hint to avoid possible difficulties that would affect their performance. Let's take a look at this example. So, for today's activity, I will let your writing skills or creative writing shines as you will gonna write an essay about COVID-19. How does COVID-19 affects to your life as a student? Please be guided of the rubrics that we'll be gonna use. This will be the basis of your outputs. Did you get me? Alright, since you understand well the activity you may start, I will give you just 5 minutes to do the task.
5 minutes later.
From the example given, we can assess that explaining the activity, providing rubrics, and other elements to be graded in the outputs will arouse students' ability and creativity to accomplish the activity since they already know what to do, and by that they can accomplish the task given. If you like my video, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share this video with your friends and colleagues. Let's spread positivity, not hatred, but instead love.